Sometimes I think toxic streamer, maybe just honest streamer. And here's the thing, there aren't a lot of streamers who are gonna be honest to you. But me, most of the time at least, they be like, no, don't gamble. I'm like, no, actually, don't gamble.
Verified liar Pokimane is continuing to cope about xQc's $100 million kick deal. The conversation around X being signed to a rival platform continues to unfold. In this popular clip, Pokimane was asked if she would take a $10 million kick deal.
No, and it's not because I got like $10 million. It's just because I'm good as I am. Why would I compromise my morals and ethics for more money when I have money? Something about that is so cringe to me personally. Like I understand, you know, if you need to make money, for me to do cringe shit when I have I can't. Like, ew. It's almost embarrassing. Also, I want to specify, I'm talking about me personally. After all the things that I've been outspoken about and where I stand morally and ethically in regards to certain things, it would be really cringe for me to stream on Kick. Like, there's no other way to put it. But you know, for example, like X, he's been gambling, he's been about it, so it makes more sense for him. But for me, it's, imagine. Oh, I think I know why. It's because it looks desperate. I would rather make $0 and keep my dignity. For me.
The reason why this clip went viral is because it seems like Pokimane is trying to indirectly throw shade at xQc. Her defense is that she was only talking about herself personally.
For me personally, I've taken such a strong stance against what Stake does. For me to take money that comes literally directly from crypto gambling would be so silly.
There's a major problem with this defense. The strong stance she took against Stake went far beyond just personal opinion. She advocated for removing gambling off of the platform entirely. She keeps saying, oh, I just meant me personally because of the strong stance I took in the past. But that strong stance wasn't just a personal opinion. It was a push for site-wide changes that would impact streamers like xQc. So on Twitch, Pokimane's stance is, gambling is bad for everyone and nobody should be able to sign those gambling contracts. But when it comes to Kick, her stance is, oh my god, that's like so cool and neat, and like I'm so happy for X. It makes sense for him, not for me personally. Me personally, I'm not degenerate or like stupid or embarrassing or desperate enough to do something like that, but for X it totally makes sense. Notice how on Twitch, where she has more influence, her take is far more authoritarian, but with xQc's deal, the only form of leverage she has is her personal relationship with X, which leads to this more passive and indirect approach. xQc actually asked Pokimane to be more brutally honest with him at the start of both of their recent conversations.
So whenever, if you're holding your tongue because you're scared of like hurting me or whatever, or you say harsh words or whatever, I don't care. You can say whatever you want. The things you're pointing at, if you're gonna go there, you gotta send it. Otherwise, you gotta send it. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
X. You're being debated right now.
No.
Really bad.
No.
Wait, let me just hear me out.
After X asks her to be more forthcoming, she says that he's being debated and then uses the just me personally argument for the next 20 minutes. An argument that's flimsy at best and deceitful at worst. Being direct and honest are not her strong suit. Take this clip for example.
Just like you chase me everywhere, shut up, you talk too much. Let me teach you guys something that's just a good life tip, okay? I'm gonna pause the music because it's important. That's how you know I'm about to talk some shit. Okay, listen. If you have to say the same shit multiple times in order for someone to hear you, stop. They don't want to hear it. Okay? And does this count for people saying stuff in my chat? Yeah. But does it also count in your relationship? Yeah. Okay, they don't want to hear it. Go talk elsewhere to someone who does. You gotta talk where you will be listened to. You gotta be where you will be appreciated. So if you're saying the same shit 10 times in my chat,
She tries to play this off as if it's some sort of life advice, but she's basically saying, if you're disruptive in my chat, then your personal relationships are probably all falling apart, loser. Even with the cutesy facade, she can get oddly cutthroat and personal, something we'll talk about more later. But for this clip, even the nice part of you need to go somewhere where you'll be listened to contradicts some of her recent tweets. MooKitty, content genius, tweeted, Pokimane is a bully. If you disagree with me, you're a misogynist, which is a bit of a jab at how Pokimane will label legitimate criticism as misogyny. Pokimane responds, facts. On the real though, this type of pick-me behavior makes me sad, because she doesn't realize that the same haters she's farming for easy engagement will someday quickly and easily turn against her too if it's convenient for them. But I thought the haters in Pokimane's audience needed to find a place where they'll be listened to, like MooKitty's channel. When a hater is in Pokimane's chat, she tries to shame them personally, but them finding community elsewhere is also, in Pokimane's eyes, problematic. MooKitty then correctly points out how dodgy and dismissive Pokimane is being, using labels like misogynist and pick-me to disregard others. Pokimane then continues to mislabel and concern troll.
The worst is like concern trolling.
Oh god. Oh my god. It's so
worst.
pathetic. It's
Concern trolling is the action or practice of disingenuously expressing concern about an issue in order to undermine or derail genuine discussion. MooKitty demonstrated how some people, like Pokimane, will hide from criticism by throwing out labels like misogynist. Pokimane's response is to misrepresent the argument, or she just doesn't understand it, and she throws in some textbook concern trolling for good measure. So when she says you need to find a place where your voice will be heard, she doesn't really mean that. She only says it to soften this part of her rant.
And does this count for people saying stuff in my chat? Yeah, but does it also count in your relationship? Yeah. Okay, they don't want to hear it. Go talk elsewhere to someone who does.
Repeating something in Pokimane's chat, that means you don't know how to communicate in relationships. Have a different perspective than Pokimane on Twitter? Well, you're just a misogynist or a pick-me, and your audience is probably going to turn on you. Poke a little fun at Pokimane in her chat? It's probably because you feel so inadequate you couldn't possibly dare to reflect upon your pathetic life.
To pinpoint or point out every little thing about my life that you disagree with, instead of taking a look at your own and figuring out what you want to do, or why you feel so inadequate that you can't even look at your own life and instead you're so focused on mine?
Questioning Poki's message to Valkyrae? Well, that's probably because you don't have friends and don't even understand what friendship is.
So you said, why'd you DM Ray asking her why she congratulated X? I didn't ask why she congratulated X. I asked her why she tweeted, I guess in a way that was like supporting Kick, and I made it very clear to her. I was like, I'm not trying to reprimand you. I just feel like we've talked about this kind of stuff before, and I'm curious for your opinion as someone who's a friend of mine. I think it's good to talk to fellow streamer friends about how they feel about something, so you can also form your opinion whether you agree or disagree. That's all. Do you guys have friends? That's usually like you talk to each other about stuff.
Some context on Pokimane's message to Valkyrae. When X got signed to Kick, Valkyrae congratulated him on Twitter. She simply said, win-win for X and Kick. Pokimane messaged her about it, wondering why she seemed supportive of Kick.
I tweeted, congrats to xQc and Kick, because I think it's like a win-win situation for both parties. And she reached out and she was like, I was kind of surprised that you were publicly supporting it.
This does come off as controlling. Pokimane's explanation is, Valkyrae and I are close friends, and this is what friends do. But no matter which way you frame it, I still find it weird that her reaction to a friend congratulating another friend is confrontation. I could be reading into this a bit too much, but the behavior continues to fit a pattern of manipulation. She also seems to be more aware than she often leads on.
When I stream, I feel like I'm shitposting half of the time. I'm genuinely not anticipating people to like clip things partially out of context.
The Pokimane clips that went viral recently aren't out of context. And how does Pokimane, massive e-celebrity who's been streaming for the last decade, someone who has thousands and thousands of viewers when they go live and constantly have articles written about them, how can she be surprised when she's clipped? It's a feature built directly into the platform, for Christ's sake. However, she seems very aware of the possibility of getting clipped when there's an opportunity for a viral moment.
Will you invite Mr. Wedding? What the Part of me wants to say no so you guys clip it and then he gets mad, you know?
This was only 10 minutes after she said, "I genuinely don't expect to get clipped." This is her reasoning for getting clipped, talking about xQc's kick deal.
And that's on me. I probably should only discuss serious topics in a very serious way.
People didn't take issue with that clip simply because Pokimane was being silly. The problem with that clip is the possibly deliberate mixed messaging. She says she doesn't want to compromise her morals and ethics. She said she would understand taking one of those deals if you need to make money. xQc already had plenty of money before his kick deal. She says for her to do quote-unquote cringe shit, as in taking a kick deal, would be ew, embarrassing, pathetic, and all of that is supposed to be negated just because she says, "Oh, it's okay when X does it because he actually stands for the things that I advocate against." What does she even stand for? She's certainly not above lying to Casanet. Here, they're talking about a conversation between X, Hasan, and Pokimane.
Y'all were 2v1 and going crazy, bruh.
I mean, frankly, I didn't talk for half of it, but I was not really beefing X very much. If anything, I was kind of trying to calm them both down, and I didn't like some of the things both sides were saying, and I was trying to call that out too.
First of all, no, she wasn't speaking half of the time, but there were 3 people in the conversation, so she shouldn't be speaking half of the time. Second of all, she wasn't calling out both sides. She was arguing against X and never gave any pushback to Hasan. Pokimane wasn't some bipartisan figure in this. Like, the way she uses the phrase whataboutism in an argument is very clearly slanted.
$2.
Tossing my
Are you saying
circumstance.
that being owned by a gambling company is worse than being owned by a child laboring company? Please clarify.
Let's not get into some whataboutism, and then we're just going down the same rabbit hole, so.
Are you for inhumane conditions for working and
Yeah,
no union and all of that? Are you for that? Is that where your morals land?
I get it, dude. But proximity
So
to those kinds of things matters a little bit. Is Amazon perfect? No. But what is this whataboutism?
Whataboutism is the technique or practice of responding to an accusation or difficult question by making a counter-accusation or raising a different issue. X's argument about the ethics of Amazon is not whataboutism. Pokimane is making a moral and ethical argument about getting signed to Kick. Pointing out Pokimane's inconsistency and hypocrisy is not whataboutism. By the way, she encourages the use of OF-style platforms, not very moral. Many people think Pokimane's recent behavior can be attributed to jealousy. Even X tries to make that point.
No, I think the brokies got mad when they get their deals and then they went against it and everybody went with it and they were like, you guys gambler. That's just the way it is.
Near Poki?
Come on.
Do you think me and Poki have
We
deals?
already talked about the fact that, like, if we wanted to, we could.
No, they tried. They tried.
Don't you think we would be arguing that Stake and Kick are unrelated so that we can get a Kick deal? But be like, oh no, I'm against crypto gambling, but Kick is different, so we can suck up to them and get a deal. Like, would that not be easy?
Okay, listen.
I feel like it's harder to stick to your guns.
The famous stick to your guns Poki, everybody. I don't think this behavior comes from jealousy though. I think it comes from resentment, at least towards Kick. If Pokimane and Hasan didn't advocate for the banning of gambling off of Twitch, Kick might not even exist. Now there's a rival platform signing highly popular streamers for obscene amounts of money. A platform with much more relaxed guidelines and a scrappier image. Apparently Kick has wanted to sign Pokimane, which surprises me. I think getting Pokimane's anti-Kick pro-censorship audience to move platforms would be incredibly difficult. Also, what creativity or even novelty does Pokimane actually bring to the streaming sphere? The improvement of entertainment does not require Pokimane's backhanded, underhanded, kid-friendly parasocial content. Alright, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Shout out to the best subscriber squad in all of YouTube. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
I personally don't want to be affiliated with crypto gambling. Did it sound like I was talking about someone else or me personally? Right? For me personally, I've taken such a strong stance against what Stake does. I want to specify, I'm talking about me personally. I'm just speaking personally to me. It's hypocritical and cringe of me because I stood against it in the past. If you have to say the same shit multiple times in order for someone to hear you, stop. they don't want to hear it.